Hi guys, how are you doing today? Today I'll be making a little video on how to flash your video card. And I know there's a lot of guides on this topic outside, and so you do want to read up on those a little bit. But the reason why I want to show you, I think it's easier for some people to just see how it's done, because some people learn better visually. And if they see my guide, I think they'll be able to unlock some more potential out of their video card that they're probably not getting right now. So that's the purpose of this video, I would say, to unlocking some additional performance out of your video card. Now, I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I've only done it on Nvidia video cards, starting from GTX 460 and onwards. I know you can do a similar thing with ATI video cards, but I'm not the expert in that field, so I would recommend doing some more research on that. But for Nvidia video cards, it's pretty simple. I don't take any responsibility if you do break your video card. I mean, that is possible if you download the wrong BIOS, and there are ways you can recover. So always make sure you read up and make original, save your original BIOS that is in your video card. In case something goes wrong, you are able to recover from a brick video card. So the video card I'm using today, this is the EVGA classified GTX 780 Ti classified card. It's water cooled with an EK water block. I think you guys can see that here, or maybe not. There we go. EK water block, and I have a black back plate installed as well, an EVGA back plate. Please bear in mind that if you do buy the EK water block, this EVGA back plate does not work by default, so you have to buy some different screws to make it work. But this is a very nice combination. Looks great. So please do some research before you buy this combination. For the processor, I'm using a 3930K. It's overclocked just a little bit to 3.8 gigahertz because I like to keep my temperatures low. And as you can see, this is a very silent rig. For cooling, I'm using an AlphaCool UT60 240mm radiator with gentle typhoons. They are, I think, running at 1400 RPM right now. And then for the top, I have a UT60 as well. This is a 360mm version, and on the top we are using gentle typhoons as well, running at 1400 RPM. I do like the silence these fans give me. They're actually rated for 1850 RPM, but I actually have resistors in place to slow them down. Alright, so let me show you how you were able to update the BIOS on video card, on your Nvidia video card actually, because I'm sure the directions are going to be different for ATI video cards. The tools are going to be different for ATI video cards, so keep that in mind. Now, before I actually show you how to do this procedure, there are several tools you're going to need and several things you're going to know about flashing your video card. Now, since this is a 7 series video card from Nvidia, you want to make sure you have the proper tools and the proper BIOS that is actually built for this card here. The way you can find that out is, you can either Google search it, or you can hop onto websites like Overclock Network, OCN, and look at their owner's threads and go through the thread and find the correct BIOS. Alright, so now let me show you how you would update the BIOS on this video card. Okay. Now I've already have a copy of the BIOS downloaded on my laptop, on my computer here. I already have the tools downloaded as well. Oops. I already have the tools downloaded as well, so I will just give you a quick rundown of how to use the tool. It's very simple. I've already made the backup of my existing original BIOS, I can show you how you can do that, because that is going to be very important if something goes wrong. Also, if you're going to do this on an inexpensive video card, have something cheap handy, maybe like a $20–30 video card, in case if the card is bricked, you're able to recover it using that cheaper video card. Okay. So what I have for you here. So the tool I use for this program, or I guess flashing, is called NVFlash. Let me show you the BIOS I'm going to be using here. Let's make sure it's the correct BIOS. It's not here. Let's find my users folder. Okay, so actually, yes, my BIOS is just in my C drive here. This is the BIOS I have for this classified video card. It's the Skynet BIOS revision 2. And if you see in here, I have two files. This one here and this one here. So what I'll be doing is I'll be actually flashing the card with the second BIOS here today. So let me show you first, before you start flashing, how you want to make a copy of your current BIOS that's on the computer. For checking the BIOS you have right now, you want to download this application called GPUZ. Once this application loads up, you can click on this top corner here. It's going to open up this little screen. Here you can, actually, you know what? They've changed this a little bit. So yeah, you don't need to click over here. So you can just click this option right here, Save BIOS. And you want to do Save to File. And give it a second. Okay, as you can see here, I have my original saved. It's just called originalti.rom, and then I have the Skynet BIOS saved here. So my BIOS is already saved, so no need to save it again. Okay. Now again, to save your current BIOS, you want to use this tool, GPUZ. You want to click on this little tab here, or this option here, to save your BIOS. Okay, now let's move on to flashing the BIOS for this video card. Before you flash, you want to make sure you disable all the overclocking software you have for your video card. I am currently running, I believe it's EVG Precision X, so I'm going to exit out of this here. Okay, and just make sure that it is exited completely. That's good. Alright. Now let's load up our NVFlash program. So NVFlash is basically an Nvidia flashing utility that you can download from a couple of websites. I know they have it available on Guru 3D, that's where I got it from. But if you do a little Google search on NVFlash, you will be able to find this program, and you'll be able to see what it does. You do want to read up on this a little bit. I will run some commands here so you're able to see how this works, but you do want to read up if you have questions. Okay. So what I did is, after I downloaded the Skynet BIOS, the Skynet.rom, I saved it and I put this in Nvidia Flash folder. It just makes it easy to use. And yeah, that looks good actually. You know what? I do have a revision 2 for this. I do have a revision 2 for this BIOS, so let's actually put that here. So give me a second here. Let me find out where it's sitting. Okay, I know it is in my, oh, well, alright. So, you know what, let's actually search for the BIOS again. I thought I had it. but maybe I moved it somewhere else, you know. Don't keep track of things. Let's make sure. Nothing here. Well, it might probably in my user's drive. Okay, there we go. Skynet BIOS Rev2. So let's extract this, extract files. Okay, so let's go and look for Skynet. Okay. So whatever you have in this folder here, or whatever you have in the BIOS file, I would just move it to the NV Flash folder. And I would also rename it as well, just to make things easy. So I'm going to copy this. Let's head over to NV Flash, paste it here, and let's rename this to test BIOS. Test, or I guess test is fine. Test. Git test.rom, that looks good. Okay, once we have our BIOS at the right location, we want to go ahead and open up NV Flash. Now there's several ways to do it. I know you can make a bootable USB and you can turn off your computer, boot with the USB, and flash your card that way. It's just a longer process. I used to do that before, but you know, I wouldn't recommend doing it now since it's so easy to just open up DOS within Windows or command prompt within Windows and just run it that way. So let's go ahead and open up command prompt, and you can do this by, in Windows 8 you can search for it and type in CMD, and that will pull up command prompt, and you want to run it as administrator always. Okay. Once the command prompt is loaded, you want to, so the way I have my NV Flash configured is just in my C root directory. It's not anywhere else. It just makes it easy to look for once you're looking, when you want to flash your BIOS. So you want to do cd ... that's for change directory, cd ... and now we're in C root. Now over here you can type in the command dir. That's going to give you the directory of things that are in C drive right now. And we do see NV Flash here, so that's what we want to use. We want to do cd NV, and if you hit tab, it'll pull up the rest of it for you. Cd NV Flash. Okay, now if we run the dir command here, we should see our BIOS that we have. So we are going to flash the card with this test BIOS here, which is test.rom. Okay, now this is the part you want to double check everything. You want to make sure you have the correct BIOS for your video card. Since I'm using a 780 Ti, 780 Ti has different memory, different speeds, different voltages that are different from the Titan, that are different from the GTX 780, that are different from the Titan Black. So you want to make sure that you are getting the right BIOS for the correct video card. That's crucial. If you do flash your video card with the wrong BIOS, it will basically brick your card, and you know, you will you are going to void your warranty. So be careful with that. Double triple check it if you're not sure. There's a lot of form information outside that you can go through, and make sure you have the correct video card BIOS for your video card. Again, I'm not going to take any responsibility if you don't do your research. I've been doing it for 4 to 5 years now, so I'm pretty comfortable with this. But if you have questions, always do some research before doing something like this. Okay, so now we're in NV Flash. So what you're going to do is you're going to type in the command NV Flash. You're going to pick the BIOS. So you're going to put the NV Flash command space, and we're going to do test.rom. And after this, you're going to type in space -4 space -5 space -6. Now what this is going to do is this is actually disabling any kind of protection, BIOS protection that's on the video card. So let's say you know you have an EVGA card and you want to flash a Asus BIOS on it because it gives you better memory timings, or it gives you additional voltage. And most of the times that BIOS is locked, so you can't really flash it, you know, just by running the nvflash test.rom command. So that -4 space -5 space -6 command actually disables the BIOS protection that might not let you do it. So once you have the command entered, it's okay. It's going to give you this little screen here. Now I am flashing this with the same BIOS, but this is just a new revision. So it will ask you, display adapter firmware, press yes to confirm, other key to board. So at this point, you know, we want to hit Y for yes. It's going to give you this little message, the display. Okay, you want to give it some time here because it's going to run everything. It's going to clear the BIOS that's already on your video card, and it's going to update it with the one we're giving it, test.rom. Now usually when, and also make sure before you run this, you have EVGA Precision X or MSI Afterburner closed out or uninstalled, because that can cause issues if you run this with those things running in the background. It can also break your card, so be careful. So it says update successful, that's good. Now all here we can do is we can just type in exit, and we are going to exit out of the command prompt. And at this stage you want to go ahead and give your computer a restart. Now you might ask me, why do all this work and why risk this, breaking your card? Now this is important because Nvidia, from their GTX 6 series and 7 series video card, have restricted on what you can and what you can do on your video card. So if you buy a high-end card, you water cool it, and guess what, your BIOS does not let you get the additional performance that you want out of it, you're basically stuck. So this is just a way of getting additional performance out of your video card. So so you're able to get more just by following these little steps here. And you know, if you make a copy of your original BIOS, you can always put the original one back. There's no need to keep this BIOS, you know, loaded. You can always go back to the original BIOS. Now, as you noticed, we were able to successfully boot back up in Windows again. As you noticed, everything is loading up now. There's no errors, nothing like that. And at this point, you can go ahead and open up your Precision again. I think for me, it automatically loads up. Okay, so if you see, Precision is loaded up. Now my card is video clocked a little bit. I will show you what this BIOS does by running this little benchmark here, the value benchmark here. Okay, and here are the settings. Ultra disabled, single monitor, anti-aliasing is full, resolution is 1080, and we're gonna hit run, and it's going to show you the clocks. I'm going to show you the clocks here for my video card. Okay, and a little bit interesting here, because this BIOS is revision 2. The clocks are much higher than I would like them to be, even though, you know, the temperature is lower. But my core is running at 1267, memory is 3663, and the temperature is 35 degrees. I know that this card can easily go up to 1300, but that's not what I'm aiming for. I actually am going to quit this. Okay, task manager. Because those are not the clock speeds I'm actually comfortable with. Okay, close the program. So that clock speed was way above what I want to accomplish with this video card. I'm comfortable with 1200, so let's actually. And this is the issue you see if you run EVGA precision, automatic reloading. You don't know what the new BIOS is going to have, what kind of clock speeds and whatnot. Okay. So voltage, my max is at 1187 millivolts. Now, if you are using a classified or a Kingpin card, you can actually download additional programs for these video cards to enable additional voltage. It's called the classified voltage tool. I have it down here, but again, I prefer not to use it because, I don't need to. I like having a nice video card with all the built-in nice power features, but I just don't want to push my hardware that hard. Okay, there we go. As a physics and mathematics student, I understand that heat can play an interesting role in hardware degradation, and I don't want to take a chance like that. I just want to make sure my equipment works 100% of the time, reliably, even 24/7. I know some people, when they overclock things, they're only going for records, or 5-hour, whatever. So for me, stability is the key. So I want to make sure my hardware is stable right now and 6 months down the road. So I'm going to give this computer a restart here, and I think we should be up and running again. Okay, perfect. So let's open up EVGA 60. So we have an offset set of plus 60 for the core, 160 plus 160 for the memory. And right now the idle temperature is 27 degrees. And let's run Valley again and see what kind of clocks we get. Okay. Alright, perfect. So this is what I actually would like to see. 1202, that's actually what I run most of my video cards at, not more than this. 1202 core and 3663 memory. I mean, you can double the memory speed, so it's about 7300, a little bit more than that. So let's run a benchmark here and see what kind of result we get. Voltage is set at 1.187 volts. Temperature is 35 degrees Celsius. Core speed is 1202 or 1.2 gigahertz, I guess you can say. And memory is at 7300, a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to let this benchmark run and see what kind of results we get. And this is at 1080p with all the settings enabled, everything maxed out. I could have bought another one of these cards here, but the thing is that since I'm only gaming on 1080p, I just don't, it just doesn't make sense for me. I am using